Hello and welcome to Idea TV News Update. I am Chidera Okere. We'll begin with the headlines. Senate urges TINUBU to build military barracks in KATSINA after deadly bandit attack. Google launches WAXAL open source African language voice database. Senegal part scandal triggers public anger and official probe. Ghana proposes gold royalty hike as mining firms push for tax cuts away from Africa. Egypt's garment exports to hit $4.4 billion in 2026 on Chinese Turkish investment boost. In health, Egypt and Sweden signs health cooperation memorandum to boost technology and research. In business, Nigeria secures $18.2 billion oil investment with 28 new field development plans. In sports, Ronaldo considering future in Saudi Arabia over financial concerns. Now the news in full. Nigeria Senate has called on President Bola Tinubu to urgently establish a military barracks in Katsina State following fresh bandit attacks that killed at least 35 people within 24 hours across the frontier zone. Lawmakers raised the alarm during plenary describing the worsening security situation as a major national concern. The motion sponsored by Senator Dan Duse Mohammed warned that the violence has forced more than 50,000 farmlands to remain uncultivated, threatening food security and livelihood in the largely agrarian region. Senators also urged increased troop deployment, advanced surveillance technology and stronger intelligence gathering to confront the attacks. After debate, the Senate resolved to push for the barracks, asked the police to equip a new squadron with at least 3 armed personnel carriers and request emergency relief for affected communities. Lawmakers also pledged to prioritize increased military funding in the 2026 budget as efforts to continue to end banditry nationwide. Moving forward, Google has unveiled WAXAL, a free open source voice dataset to support artificial intelligence development for African languages. The database contains over 11,000 hours of recordings across 21 languages, including Hausa, Yoruba, Swahili, Igbo, Luganda, and Fulani, and is now available on the Hugging Face platform. Developed over 3 years in partnership with African institutions such as Makerere University, University of Ghana, Digital Umuganda, and the African Institute for Mathematical Sciences. WAXAL provides transcribed speech for automatic recognition and studio recordings for speech synthesis. The initiative aims to boost AI tools for voice assistance, dictation, and public services in health, education, and agriculture. African institutions retain ownership of the data sets while making them openly accessible, ensuring local context and languages are represented. Google says the project will help over 100 million people across voice-based technology, addressing the historic lack of linguistic data that has limited AI application in sub-Saharan Africa. Anger is growing in Senegal over allegations that expired and unsuitable materials were stored for use in sanitary pads and diapers produced by Softcare, a subsidiary of China's Sonda International. Following an inspection in early December, the National Pharmaceutical Regulator ordered the withdrawal of affected products, citing more than 1,000 kilograms of expired raw materials found at the company's factory. Days later, the regulator said documents showed the materials were not used in production, a reversal that sparked public outrage. Inspectors involved rejected the change in position, while women reported itching and irritation linked to the products. Doctors and pharmacists warned that poor quality menstrual products can cause infections and other health risks. Softcare denies using expired materials and says the stock is stored separately awaiting destruction. The controversy escalated in January with protests and calls for accountability as an opposition lawmaker accused authorities of delayed actions. The Health Ministry has announced a joint investigation while Parliament has opened hearing into the withdrawal and reinstatement of the product. The case has also reignited wider concerns across Africa about the safety and regulation of menstrual hygiene products. In another news, Ghana is proposing a new gold royalty regime aimed at increasing government revenue as global gold prices surge. The plan introduces a base royalty rate of 9%, rising to as much as 12% of gold prices exceed $4,500 per ounce, more than doubling the current of 3% to 5% rate applied at some mines. To ease industry concerns, the government is offering to reduce the growth and sustainability levy paid by mining companies to 1% from 3%. However, mining firms say the concessions is insufficient and are calling for the levy to be scrapped entirely, proposing a royalty range of 4% to 8% with 1% allocated to the host community development. The stakes are high for Ghana, where gold remains the country's top exports. In 2025, gold generated $20.9 billion out of $31.1 billion in total exports, with gold trading at about $5,060 per ounce. The new royalty scale could significantly boost government income, though negotiations with mining companies are ongoing. We now go on a quick break. The news continues on the other side.
Continuous Threat Exposure Countermeasure, CTEM. CTEM tools enable organizations to continuously monitor and address vulnerabilities in real time. This proactive approach helps businesses stay ahead of cyber threats and comply with security standards. While CTEM systems are improving cybersecurity, managing them can be resource-intensive. Sectors like finance, healthcare, and government are adopting these tools to protect sensitive data.
Welcome back if you're just joining. This is Idea TV News Updates. Now the rest of the news. Away from Africa, Egypt's ready to wear export council projects garment export to reach $4.4 billion by 2026, a 22% increase from $3.6 billion in 2025. The growth is driven by new industrial projects launched in 2025 by Chinese and Turkish investors aimed at increasing production capacity and export volumes. Key investments include China's Everfar Textile Egypt LLC, that is $130 million, Changzhou King Carson Printing and Dyeing Co., that is $24.5 million, Shanghai Honor Home Textile, and Turkey's Oraglu $120 million, along with a $100 million factory by Turkey's Boni in 10th of Ramadan City. These projects are expected to start contributing to output from 2026 through to 2027. The expansion aligns with Egypt's broader plan to quadruple textile export revenues to $11.5 billion by 2030, up to $2.8 billion in 2024. Authorities are focusing on industrial zones such as West Quantara to strengthen the country's position in global apparel markets. And in health news, Egypt and Sweden signed a memorandum of understanding on Tuesday, 3rd February 2026, to strengthen collaboration in health and medicine. The agreement focuses on public health, primary care, maternal and child health, and the development of public health control centers. It also promotes knowledge exchange, joint research, and the adoption of modern medical technologies. Egyptian Health Minister Khalid Abdel Ghaffar said the MOU reflects Egypt's commitment to building international partnerships to improve its healthcare system and respond to current and future health challenges. The country has implemented reforms including a 115 billion Egyptian pounds, that is $2.4 billion investment for the second phase of its universal health insurance system. The partnership will enhance health infrastructure, modernize facilities, and integrate digital solutions, addressing ongoing challenges such as high investment costs, doctor migration, and health disparities. Egypt and Sweden aim to leverage expertise and research to improve access to quality care and strengthen the sector's sustainability. Moving forward in business, Nigeria says it secured $18.2 billion in oil investment in 2025 after signing 28 new field development plans with an estimated production potential of 1.4 billion barrels of the oil. The announcement was made on February 3, 2026 at the 9th Nigerian International Energy Summit in Abuja, where officials and reforms and policy clarity helped restore investor confidence in the sector. The government says the recovery follows the implementation of the Petroleum Industry Act, tax incentives, and the Project on Million Barrels initiative launched in October 2024, which lifted production between 1.7 million and 1.83 million barrels per day, about 20% higher than previous levels. Officials say Nigeria accounted for 4 of the 7 major final investment decisions announced across Africa between 2024 and 2025, signaling renewed global interest. Industry leader says the sector is improving but still faces challenges, including high operating costs and bureaucracy. Stakeholders are calling for further reforms, easier access to long-term capital, and streamlined fees to sustain growth as Nigeria aims to strengthen its position as a regional and global energy hub. And finally, in sports, Cristiano Ronaldo is reportedly reconsidering his future in Saudi Arabia amid concerns about financial backing for his club, Al Nassr. The 40-year-old forward was absent from Al Nassr's Saudi Pro League victory over Al Riyadh on Monday, raising questions about the situation at the club. Reports indicate Ronaldo is unhappy with how the club is being run and believes Al Nassr are not receiving the same level of financial support as other Saudi Pro League giants backed by the Public Investment Fund. The club said to be receiving stronger backing include Al Hilal and Al Ahly and Al Ittihad. The developments had sparked speculation about Ronaldo's long-term future in Saudi football just over 3 years after his high-profile move to the league. And that's all we have for you today on Idea TV News Updates. But before we go, here is the recap of the headlines. Senate urges TINUBU to build military barracks in KATSINA after deadly bandit attack. Google launches WAXAL, open source African language voice database. Senegal pad scandal triggers public anger and official probe. Ghana proposes gold royalty hike as mining firms push for tax cuts away from Africa. Egypt's garment exports to hit $4.4 billion in 2026 on Chinese Turkish investment boost. In health, Egypt and Sweden signs health cooperation memorandum to boost technology and research. In business, Nigeria secures $18.2 billion oil investment with 28 new field development plans. And finally, in sports, Ronaldo considering future in Saudi Arabia over financial concerns. Do not forget to follow us across all social media platforms at Idea Television. I am Chidera Okewe. Thank you for watching.